And it's like, you never scheduled the painters. You found out the price and decided to paint yourself. You know you're lying to me. You're always lying to me. Dude, yeah. Taylor, I've hired a contractor too.
Oh.
So we had the smallest job, right? The railing on our front porch is rotted. The toilet wobbled, and the coffee maker, we got a nice coffee maker that needs plumbing, so we don't have to like fill the water all the time, and something else, maybe the hardware in a bathtub, right? Let's go over this again. Coffee maker, bathtub hardware, wobbly toilet, and a front porch, some rotted wood he's going to replace. Whew. So we hire him back in January. He works like a day, and it's going great. Toilet's fucking solid as a rock. And he's sending pictures of the stuff you can't see so that you can admire the craftsmanship that is under the toilet, in the marble floor or whatever kind of floor, I don't know, rock thing floor. So, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. The next day he says, Woody, I can't come in. My wife has been badly hurt. We're not sure if she's going to walk again. And I'm like, whoa, well, take the time you need. My gosh. Like, this is a big deal. And he's like, yeah, I have to watch her. I had to take care of her, et cetera, et cetera. So he misses like a couple weeks after because of that. Dude, she was walking after 2 days, right? My sprained ankle was fucking worse than this woman's thing. And there's questions about whether she's going to walk again. But no, she's fine. But he misses weeks of work for that. Then he comes back. Works like a day or maybe didn't come in. Says, Woody, I think I got COVID, right? He gets tested for COVID. Doesn't have COVID. Misses 3 fucking weeks of work for not COVID. Right? So then
not COVID. Gotta go.
Yeah. So then he's going to come back. He's like, Woody, I'm coming Monday. I swear I'm coming Monday. Woody, I'm on my way. Woody, I had a heart attack. I had a fucking heart attack. Oh my God. You take the time you need. A heart attack. Goodness gracious. I'm not a monster. Okay. It was indigestion. Misses 3 fucking weeks for indigestion. 3 more weeks for not a heart attack. 3 weeks.
Every time Woody calls him, hello, hypochondriac contracting. How can I help you? Oh, hang on. I can't continue this phone call. And I'm dying.
He's sending me pictures like trying to connect with me, Oh, things are tough here. Things are tough. Watch, these are my support schnauzers. Right? He sends me pictures of his dogs and shit like that.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
He's got support schnauzers? Are you fucking with me? Is this a joke?
I can show you.
Show me. Wow. You're going to have to show me that this man has support schnauzers, or I'm going to call you a liar.
This guy's a...
this is not a problem.
Dude, y'all are so nice to these contractors. Like I get that not cursing at them is like the right way to do things. But at some point, not whipping their ass is just letting them slide. The man has support schnauzers. Oh my fucking God, I see him. Oh, good.
Yeah, Kyle, I'm totally on board with that. Like I try to be. I've worked customer service jobs. I know too. Yeah. I try to be polite. I try to be courteous. Apparently, that is not the strategy with contractors. Dude, because if you are nice, they will walk all over you.
I'm very litigious.
Schedule.
Me too. That's how I turned it around. At one point in T-Talk, I'm like, dude, at this point, we're getting attorneys involved. I don't know what to do at this point. Yeah. And he's like, Woody, don't do that. Give me a chance to prove you wrong. And I'm like, you have had so many chances. You literally send me texts saying you're on the way and then don't come. He's like, no. There was one point where he's like, the painters are scheduled for Friday. I said, seriously, it's like Wednesday at this point. You're going to get all your work done? Who are the painters? And he won't tell me. I'm like, who are the painters? He tells me something else about all the work he's going to get done and the troubles that he has in his life. And I'm like, who are the painters? I want to call the painters and see if they know that they're scheduled to come Friday. That might have been when I got the dog pictures. I don't know. But it was...
there's Huey, Dewey, and Louie. There's support schnauzers.
So then he's like...
it's paw prints.
He's like, it's the same guys that pressure washed. It's like Salarno or something. And I'm like, well, fuck, he answered in such a way that I can't call. And anyway, he cancels work the next 2 days. I'm like, I guess you canceled the painters. Yeah. He's like, I guess you canceled the painters. He's like, yep, I got that all taken care of. We canceled the painters. So then he ends up doing the painting himself. Says, man, the prices these painters want is outrageous. And it's like, you never scheduled the painters. You found out the price and decided to paint yourself. You know you're lying to me. You're always lying to me. You lie so fucking much. I'm
you need to do this. This is what you need to do.
That's what I did. At one point, I'm out there talking to him, and I'm like, dude, the gap between what you say you're going to do and what you actually do is so wide. I can't make that mental leap that when you tell me you're going to do this, that I don't get it. I've never met anyone less reliable than you. This is like actual words I've said to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, would he give me a chance to prove you wrong? And eventually, he finished the job. It was probably 2 weeks worth of work. He did it from
That's
January
why we're hearing about this, by the way. In
May.
case somebody's wondering, this has been ongoing for weeks, and Woody didn't want to talk about it until it was
months.
Like for anyone who's listening to this, like here's my 2 cents on how you handle these awful scenarios.
Just real quick. Towards the end, his wife was dying. She's got lupus.
Dead.
She's got lupus.
I would say, you know what? You better hope she dies.
Dude.
Because if she's not dead tomorrow, I'm coming for her.
Dude, every single morning that he doesn't show up, you should send him a photo of the obituary page. Hey, I didn't see her here. You weren't at work yesterday.
Dude, sorry I cut you off, Kyle, but by the end with the dying wife stuff, I had no heart. I'm like, you're making your problems my problems. I don't want to hear this.
Sounds like a you problem. You know what problem I got? My coffee maker.
Is
your coffee maker alive?
He wasn't credible anymore. Not. And by the way, I don't think lupus kills you.
I don't care if it does. I hope it does.
I
hope she's got it bad. No, you threaten these people with fucking litigation because nobody wants that. Nobody wants to show up in court. Nobody wants that. Everyone fears that so much. Believe me, I've been there. Nobody wants to go to court and have a judge deciding what they're going to have to pay out of pocket or potentially go to jail or something like that. Obviously, this is a civil contractor dispute. Nobody's going to jail, but you get what I'm saying. You threaten these people right away with litigation. If they have done you wrong, you don't owe these people anything. You've got to threaten them right away because people who are already in that business and they have this level of shittiness, it's not a new thing to them. This is just how they operate, and they're going to keep doing it to you. And you're not the only one that they are putting off. The reason they can't come tomorrow is because tomorrow they're going to a guy's house where they're 5 weeks late.
That's not true. Yeah. Do you want to know why I know?
I would love to because I bet it's hilarious.
Doing meth?
He he parked his trailer with tools in my driveway all winter long, from January to May.
You think it's his trailer? He stole that trailer from a real contractor. In reality, he has stolen the identity of an actual contractor. And he's living in his house like that scene in Unbreakable. The guy's tied to a radiator, and every night he's just drinking beer and spitting it on him. This man is an insane asylum kind of character.
He had his trailer. That was the thing. So we have our driveway is it's weird. You can enter the house from the north side and the eastern side. Yeah. And the eastern driveway, the better one, was just occupied all winter long.
You've got a better driveway and you can't afford $100 for a DNA test.
The man has an eastern driveway, but he can't afford his DNA test. Fucking Wayne Manor over here. I don't know where I'm from.
Don't use
France,
the
Germany, who knows?
Afternoon. It's too hot. I drive into the western driveway afternoon. I want to keep my tires nice.
Don't they know that in the summer I like to use the eastern driveway to avoid the glare?
We just got it repaved. It has brand new dark asphalt. It's so smooth. I'm on the gravel driveway.
And I have to drive on gravel in my brand new pickup truck. I'm trying to get out to off-road on one of my many hobbies.
But yeah,
with my friend the Wizard.
And he did great work. It just took him 12 times longer than it should have.
No,
my dumbass wants to rehire him for a one-day job.
My dad would always threaten people. He would literally threaten people with physical violence. And that sounds like a terrible idea, but it would usually work. Yeah. There was a guy who was stealing tools from him once, a contractor. He's the contractor and he's stealing my dad's tools. And my dad goes to the guy's house and the guy's daughter is there. And she's a little girl. She's 9. And she's like, hey, is your dad around? He's like, no. He's like, have you seen my tools? And she's like, my daddy took your tools.
Oh my God.
And he goes and he beats the shit out of this guy. And he's like, I'm going to come back. And if you've hurt that little girl, I'm going to come back every day. And you're getting more of this. Just like beat the shit out of this guy who had stolen his tools. And he's like, and I want to know where my tools are. He's like, I've sold the tools. I'm so sorry. I sold the tools. Who'd you sell them to? So then he's like having to like go around and track down. It wasn't his tools. It was like race car parts. It was like this real fancy, like multi-barrel carburetor from a drag race car. It was all this stuff this fucking scumbag had stolen.
God.
People are scummy. It's hard to find good contractors. And it seems like the contractor business is somewhat populated by scummy people. It seems like it's, I don't know for what reason, but it's hard to find good people to come into your home and do drywall, carpeting, heating and air, duct work, like plumbing, you name it. It's hard. So another little thing happened. Moving on. Was it PKN or PKA? Yeah. So last week on the show, we discussed Woody's terrible contractor and how he faked multiple life-threatening illnesses for himself and his wife. So he just kept delaying all these projects on Woody, and it was a real hassle. And at one point, Woody was like, he even like showed me pictures of his dogs to like get pity. And I was like, no way, let me see the dogs. And I legitimately just wanted to see the dogs. I thought he'd like text me the dogs or something. And like Woody was like, yeah, look at the dogs, and like showed me like text messages of the dogs. And completely accidentally, he, I guess, flashed the guy's phone number because it's at the like top of the thing. And we didn't realize until it was too late. Someone messaged me like days and days and days later, and it was far too late by then. Well, I guess some people called him and tried to hire his services and have been giving him a hard time. So he's like calling Woody, and he's like, "You've sicked these degenerates on me. Like this bullshit show you do. There's over 180,000 views already on it, and these people are calling me, and they're doing this and that."
What are your response like when he said like that? There's 180,000 views on the YouTube. I wanted your response to be like, well, actually, that doesn't account for all the other services that it's.
YouTube is but a fraction of our.
That's not y'all. Don't get the.
Well, the audio listeners aren't calling him. I didn't say it.
Not yet. Not yet. They aren't. The things you miss out on when you never watch the video.
Yeah, you can't get.
I didn't mean to leak his number. It sucks. But he did act like it was like yet another one of the worst things that ever happened to him. It just there. So he took about 5 months to do maybe 10 days worth of work. And when he did work, I swear this guy works from like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I hate this guy so much.
How is this even worth your commute? But he would routinely work like 10 to 2. And that's part of why it takes so long.
He even said, he was like, how would you like it if I started a podcast and I like showed your number on there? And it's like, turns out he's starting a podcast. It was gonna start this week, but he has AIDS, so it's been delayed. It's been delayed 2 to 3 weeks before he begins his podcast.
What if he starts a podcast? He's
TBD.
a fucking natural, explodes past us, and then damn it, we're getting blown out by the contractor weekly talk hour.
5 months to
Welcome to the Lazy Frank Show. I'm Lazy Frank.
I'm Lazy Frank. Welcome to the 1 Minute Podcast.
Here's my wife, Terry Schiavo. Beep, beep. Beep. She's on the monitors.
We're pretty happy with the work he did. It just, instead of like 10 days, it took 5 months to do it. And
so if somebody needs some work done
in 2022,
if somebody needs some work done, this will be done by the middle of this decade.
I didn't like that he stored his trailer in our driveway for 5 months.
You shouldn't. Just because you have 2 driveways doesn't mean you don't deserve to use both of them.
Do you have a wobbly toilet that you need fixed in 3 to 6 months? Do you have a little extra room in your front yard for a large trailer? Well, there's only one man to call for the job.
A lot of people thought that maybe he was working on someone else's project, but I had all his tools in my front yard the whole winter. Like he wasn't working anywhere else.
Those tools are doing.
I mean, you think he's laundering money in some other way? You think he's a criminal? But this is his moonlighting gig.
I don't want to accuse him of any crimes.
He kept asking me for more money, so no, I don't think so.
He sounds like an alcoholic.
I don't think so.
What about, hey, we got an expert.
We do have a subject matter expert here. Not
He's
that I
often
know.
late.
Often late.
Often late.
He makes promises that he never fulfills.
Right.
He likes to use his nail gun drunk. Look how far it could go.
I looked in his trailer, there's nothing in there but 3 kegs of beer and a vomit stinking mattress.
All his tools were really nice. He has everything's matching DeWalt. He's a DeWalt guy, and all of his tools matched. It was all like high end stuff. He made an outstanding first impression.
Yeah,
it wasn't
I like DeWalt as well.
Missed just like at first it'd be like, hey bro, when should I expect you? That was the phrasing I always used. When should I expect you? It's a nice way of saying like, you coming to work today, dude? Yeah. And there'd be some excuse. It got to be I just didn't expect him anymore. Like, of course he's not coming to work. Why would he? And he got demo done immediately. You know what else I hated? Just remembering this, and it made me so mad. We hired him for like a smaller project, right? Like just the toilet and coffee maker or whatever it was. And he's like, actually, I'm a really good carpenter, and like, check out how loose this is. And there's a wobbly hand railing. It goes like, it's a front porch. It has maybe 4 steps, and the railing is wobbly. And he rips it down and says, "Look how weak that was." And I'm like, well.
Look how easy this hammer dents your car.
Yeah. And
you need protection.
Now I have to face
it's like one of those guys that comes in your house to sell you like a steam cleaner and pours like crude oil on your white carpets first.
No, he literally did that. He ripped down the railing, and then there was like a globe. Picture like a 1 foot diameter sort of decorative wooden ball at the top of a newel post. And he ripped that off too. And he's like, look, this comes right off. And it's like, you're doing demo, like pre-estimate. I don't have a quote to fix this yet.
I would literally call the police.
Like... It's the shadiest fucking tactic ever. I
would literally call the police. You just tell them the truth. I called this man and asked him to fix my toilet and my coffee maker. He walked outside and started tearing my porch apart and pointed out how weak it was. Destruction. I want to file charges for destruction of property. And then he'd be like, yeah, that's exactly what happened, but I thought he'd hire me. Fraud as well, it seems, sir. Yes. Let's get that right down.
You know what you need to do, Woody? You need to go to his house and test, like, how... Can you hang on his kitchen cabinets? I don't know. Maybe you need to test it. Look at this. I can just tear your whole kitchen apart. Look at this. This coffee maker goes right into your TV.
Yeah.
You didn't consider any of this. Wow, everything just lights on fire. Look, just tossing a match. Look at how flammable your throw pillows are.
We have a big house.
I'm showing you all the fucking danger.
There's so many things that like need to be done. Like you close a door and you can like see like a little bits of light, on the other, like, oh, the weather ceiling's not quite right, and we just got like a zillion of those. Our gutters are like there's an area in the front where the gutter doesn't point down, so it kind of drips over the side, and that causes further. Anyway, it's like we got a million little things that was his audition to be like my fucking next dependent. I'm gonna have another guy just around here sucking money out of me all the time. I was gonna add one to the list, and he missed his chance. We got to find someone else.
Piece of shit, this guy.
Literally
jerk.
It's like calling the fucking fire department because your house is on fire, and they just like show up with a flamethrower. And you're like,
yeah. They're like, look, all this shit catches on fire.
Our fire's even hotter. We're going to intimidate the other fire into retreat.
That is the shadiest. I hired a paint. Well, I didn't actually hire him, but I hired a painter to give me a quote. I guess I had a painter. And this is the Apex house. On the siding, there was, it kind of bubbled under the paint a little bit. Like water got behind it and it bubbled a bit. So he took a screwdriver and pried it off to show me that it was weak. And it's like, well, fuck. We went from like bubbling under the paint to like exposed, raw, unpainted siding. Yeah. Like, is this part of your sales technique? Where you take my 4 out of 10 problems and make them 9 out of 10 problems, and now like it's an emergency?
You call the police. I swear to God, you call the police.
I'm remembering.
I would not deal with that.
the contractor thing. If there is a job where they abuse the religious thing, it's got to, even more than priests, it's got to be contractors. Playing on your most vulnerable moments. If a priest tries to manipulate me, it's like, I'm not coming back to your fucking cult. But if a contractor does, it's like, but you're the guy, but my sink doesn't work. I need you here to do this.
To be clear, Will didn't do that. It was just one medical calamity after another. And I'm not pretty sure they were overblown. I'm positive. Look, a negative COVID test doesn't cause you to miss 3 weeks of work. What the fuck? No. Who the hell misses 3 weeks for not having COVID or indigestion? He thought he had a heart attack. He didn't. 3 weeks he missed work.
Even with COVID, I would be like, I want to get back as quick as possible.
Even with a heart attack, you don't miss 3 weeks.
Yeah, even with a heart attack, it's like, I had a heart attack, I'll be in Monday. It's like, it would take a long weekend and heart recover. And be like, okay. That's absurd.
Yeah, and then of course he ran out of money, and suddenly it's like, I need an advance, and it's fucking...
Well, maybe the Lord will strike him down.
That's why he wasn't a contact in my phone. I had this weird thing in my head where I was like, if I decide to rehire this guy, I'll enter him in my phone as a contact. If I don't, he's just going to be like a random number. And I don't know, that was it. It was like, the day that he like impresses me enough that I might rehire him, I'll put him in my phone. And he just never made it in there.
Yeah.
He is now, because you have to enter him to block him.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.